here enjoying 11,000 horsepower of nitro methane burning funny cars and top fuel dragsters. But now we're going to roll into Pro Mod. Time to get it on. Mike Castellana coming out for a solo shot. Yesterday got a little crossed up, ran 15 seconds. He was way over there in lane 4. Now he's in lane 1. Of course, tuned by the legend, Frank Manzo. Frank got inducted into the Big Daddy Don Garlits International Drag Racing Hall of Fame a little bit earlier this year. But was being very, very careful, obviously. Taking care to take care. But now, back out at the track. And it's great to see Frank out here, right behind the car, guiding Mike back into his tracks. Current number 1 qualifier is Justin Bond. 563.1. Justin Bond went 563.1 at 253.75 to be the number 1 qualifier. Jeff Jones, 1040 is the number 16 qualifier. So we got a lot of potential for moving around. 19 cars on the property. Let's see what Mike Castellana could do with this opportunity, and certainly wants to vault himself up into the field. Just got to run quicker than 10 seconds to do it. And he did it. 584.8, 247. From the outside to the inside, Mike Castellana, the number 6 qualifier, after that pass. Jericho Balduff out of New Smyrna Beach, Florida. The Extreme Concrete Chevelle over here in lane 1. Lane 2 is Dwayne Wolf. They did not make a run yesterday. Got pushed off the starting line. Justin Jones, the PJS Racing 2018 Corvette. Weatherford, Texas, number 3. And Tony Wilson, Salisbury Racer. Got Wright trailers on board. The Caruso family racing team. Way over there in lane number 4. Now, our Pro Modified elapsed time record is 5.621. Jose Gonzalez was able to knock that out in Gainesville earlier this year. The bump is Chad Green, 984.9. Jeff Jones just got bumped out. We're going to see if Justin Jones can improve his station life. Current number 14 qualifier. Tony Wilson, Caruso car, is very capable of running quick and fast. Ran 14 seconds, so several of these racers trying to fight their way. Problems lane 3. Jericho Balduff, goes 5.803 at 228. A marked improvement from his previous run. In fact, several of our racers, Dwayne Wolf with a 6:07.9 at 248, gets a number on the board. They desperately needed that. So Jericho, good enough for 6th overall with a 5.803. Dwayne Wolf slotting in 11th overall with a 6:07.9. And Justin Jones, 887.1, actually enough to take over the 16th spot and bump out a couple of other racers. Check out NHRA.tv. All the way to the left side of your screen, you'll see they are already off the throttle. And the race extends over to lanes 1 and 2, where Jericho and Dwayne were able to get the chutes out and put up a solid and competent run. So they have improved. And so Tony Wilson finds himself on the outside, as well as Jeff Jones. Another not qualified racer going to be in this quad. Lane number 1, the Haviland Mustang, Elite Motorsports, and Alex Laughlin. In lane 2, Eric Latino, Gessie Quality Compressors, Port Perry, Ontario. In lane 3, Paul Dagrapont, the CRC powder coating machine, and Chad Green, number 5 in the world from a year ago, Midland, Texas's own Bondcoat Incorporated sponsored machine. Alex is in at number 9. Eric Latino did not take time. He's on the outside looking in, not on the sheet as of now. Paul Dagrapont and Chad Green doing the burnouts over there, lanes 3 and 4. Chad Green, the nitrous car, 959 cubic inches of Pat Musey power, and a whole lot of nitrous. Got an opportunity to speak with Pat not long ago, doing a podcast for Total Seal piston rings, and it's called Hidden Horsepower. You can definitely check it out on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you're a hardcore engine guy, you'll really enjoy it, because guys like Pat Musey come on and talk about some of their speed secrets and lessons that they've learned over the career, but just the discussion of the nitrous and the flow of the nitrous and what's happening with nitrous inside the plenum of the intake manifold, really amazing, and how sometimes it doesn't go where you want it to go. Sometimes it goes in other places and kind of goes back and forth between cylinders and whatnot in the plenum of the intake. Very interesting stuff by Pat. Now we're up to 959 cubic meters. We've allowed the nitrous cars a little more cubes. Brought in the Pro Charger cars, as is Alex Laughlin's over there in lane number 1. You see a flat hood and a really loud car. That's the combination. You see an air scoop up there. It's a nitrous car. And obviously, if you see a blower and an injector sticking out of the hood, well, root style supercharger. Laughlin, number 9 qualifier. Paul Dagrapont, pretty amazing that he is even out here. Got so crossed up yesterday. The car was up on 2 wheels a couple of times, but kept the rubber side down. He's back to try again. Chad Green on the outside looking in. Latino off the quad, making his way. And the best run of this quad, wow, 6:10 for Alex Laughlin, 9:52 for Eric Latino, 6:84.2 for Paula Dagrapont, and a 6:15.1 for Chad Green. And so what does that mean? Chad Green is able to get up into the field 12th overall with that 6:15. Dagrapont as well. Good enough for 14th with 6:84. Pushes Brandon Snyder to the bump with an 8:44. And Justin Jones is now on the outside with Lyle Barnett, Eric Latino, Jeff Jones, and Tony Wilson. Just to qualify, it is not easy. just to qualify here in the E3 Spark Plugs presented by J&A Service Pro Modified Series. We do have one final qualifying session later today scheduled, and so the drama of the race within a race that is qualifying at the NHRA will be pretty intense. These drivers figuring out data and what they need to do to step on it a little bit later. Next up, a rookie driver to Pro Modified. San Jose, California's Mike Salinas from Scrappers Racing. And yeah, I know you're like, well, you're the top fuel guy? Yeah, the top fuel guy. The junior dragster guy. Where was that? Was that Bristol? Where was it? Was Seattle that he jumped in a junior dragster. One of the racers, junior dragster racers, challenged Mike Salinas. Mike took it personal and jumped in the car, which is awesome. So Mike Salinas in lane 1, Scrappers Racing. Lane 2, Jeff Jones, PGS Racing. Ricky Smith, SoCal sponsored, multi-time world champ, Tricky Ricky in lane 3, and Lyle Barnett over there in lane 4, the Elite Motorsports. MacFab Modern Racing, Elite Performance Machine. 2 of our 4 drivers not yet qualified. Now what's up with Jeff Jones? They got it running yet? They're backing off the golf cart, but there's a bit of a thrash. You say, yeah, exactly. It's just all about the body language of the team. They're looking at the car, and then they're taking a step or 2 towards the car, and then they start to run. It's like something is up. Doors coming open on the Jeff Jones PJS machine. Meanwhile, Mike Salinas has got Steve Petty and the Proline guys tuning that car. I asked him about it while Jeff Jones, Brandon Pez is now over there. They're trying to sort out exactly what it may be that the car is not firing up the way they would like it to. And they are falling way behind on this run now. And it is over. And they're going to push him back. Unfortunate for Jeff Jones, who's the number 20 qualifier, going to get one more shot later on today. But Salinas says, Joe, I get bored not doing anything. I want to do stuff. It's like running top fuel. I love it, and it's great, but I need to occupy my mind and my time, and so I want to run Pro Mod also. We'll be running Pro Modified at all the races that Top Fuel and Pro Mod run together. See, the girls are down there behind him on the starting line. And yesterday, Mike Salinas, first pass down, went 5.73.6, good enough for the number 4 qualifier. Tricky Ricky is the number 10 qualifier, hasn't run in the 5s just yet. And Lyle Barnett has got a 9-second pass as his best pass so far. Racer out of Gastonia to come up through grudge ranks and small tire ranks. Lyle goes all the way in, waiting on Ricky to get pre-stage. Lyle not messing around. Ricky's in there all in. Here we go. Getting after it the way it should be. And we got a 5.75.5 for Mike Salinas. He's on rails. You got a 5.79.0 for Tricky Ricky. Huge improvement, gets there first, and 6.057 for Lyle Barnett at 245.36 miles per hour. So everybody got a little something out of that one. Mike Salinas, another lap in the suspended car, also a solid run. Tricky Ricky is able to jump into the 570s and get way up there in the qualifying queue. Mike Salinas holds on to 4th. Ricky Smith up to 6th. Lyle Barnett from the outside to the inside, 11th overall. Jeff Barker is now the bump. And we've got 4 more. Whoa. Doug Winters got crossed up in the burnout. Big time. Lane number 1, the champ. We'll be seeing him on stage not long from now in the Bahrain 1 racing team. Billy Stocklin, the crew chief. Evans, George's own. Stevie, Fast, Jackson. Saw the Nitro Time Machine from yesterday. Stevie had his big crash way over there in lane 4 a few years ago. That was kind of a welcome to Pro Mod moment in the NHRA. Like, what would you do after that? Stevie went on to win 2 U.S. Nationals, 2 World Championships, and is the current number 3 qualifier. Lane number 1, J.R. Gray. Number 14 qualifier, the Mike Janis Racing machine. Gray contracting in lane 2. Saw those guys posting on Facebook a little bit earlier today. They had a problem with the brakes, and JR noticed it and did not run it all the way out. That 634 at 177, they felt like it would have been a 5.6 second run somehow, some way, but JR felt something wrong with the car and shut it off. Mike giving him big props for keeping everything intact. The number one job for the driver. Doug Winters, the Steinhardt makes stairs for airports. Chevelle over there in lane 3 did get crazy crossed up into burnouts. Number 9 qualifier with a 585. And Brandon Snyder, number 2 in the world a year ago. Brandon, lane 4, is not qualified. But it's going to be J.R. Gray. Runs 576.5. And that is a big step up. Doug Winters, second quick, 579.7, 581.8 for Brandon Snyder. And Stevie doesn't get down the racetrack like he would have liked with a 6-second pass. But all kinds of moving around in the qualifying queue. J.R. Gray up to 6th. Doug Winters, 8th. And Brandon Snyder from the outside to the inside, 10th overall. Doesn't have to worry about getting bumped out. Paul Dagrapont now on the bump, 684.2, 199. And on the outside, Jeff Barker. He was in, but now he's out. But guess what? He's back, and he's in this quad, and he's got a shot to get himself back in. And how about this? Our final quad. If you're out there walking the pits, make your way to the grandstands. It's just about, no, shutting him down. They fired him up, and then everybody in unison giving the universal cut sign, like, shut it off. Because I see the safety safari is out there in lane 1. Stevie was last down. If there was a universal international category of drag racing, it would have to be pro modified, I believe. Just because the international interest is through the roof. You want some proof? Well, let's take a look at this quad right here with a couple of our quickest and fastest cars ever and of all time. For instance, in lane 1, Bahrain 1. So a Middle Eastern team, Justin Bond doing the driving from Mission, British Columbia. So that's number 1. He's the number 1 qualifier with a 563.1. Number 2 is Jose Gonzalez out of the Dominican Republic. Q80 Racing, the car is the General, or El General. Jose is the world record holder in Pro Modified with that 562 pass from Gainesville earlier this year. He is in lane number 2. Lane 3, Khaled Al-Balushi, one of the Bahrain 1 racing teams. But Khaled, of course, from UAE, has won races in Top Fuel and has been a Pro Mod champion, had great success, but again, the international flavor. And then way over there in lane 4, from the far-off destination of Kathleen, Georgia, Jeff Barker. But it is a Bahrain 1 sponsored machine, part of the Bahrain 1 racing team. So there is just excitement for Pro Mod everywhere you go. Now, on this particular pass, though, it's going to be very interesting because Justin Bond is the number 1 qualifier. Jose Gonzalez is the number 5 qualifier. Khaled Al-Balushi is the number 2 qualifier. And Jeff Barker's on the outside looking in. And we do have one more qualifying session, but nobody wants to be on the outside looking in. It's better to be on the inside looking out. So we'll see if Jeff Barker can fight his way in. That's one of the nitrous cars way over there. You can see by the air scoop. He went through several of them down in Atlanta. Stevie Fast helping out with the tuning of that machine. And if you look at that car, it's a 2021 Toyota Camry. You're like, what? Camry? And that's right. He's got low Toyota on board, and that car is schemed out as a Camry. Good call by Jeff Barker. So we are getting ready to refire them. Just a moment or two out there on the starting line. Once again, if you're walking the pits, if you're just coming through the gates, welcome to you. Thanks for coming out to the National Hot Rod Association. And you are coming at just the right time, people. We got the final quad of Pro Modified on the track. Then it's into Pro Stock Motorcycle, and the Camping World Drag Racing Series. Oh, yes. So way over there in lane number 3 and 4, they're trying to sort out a little something, and I am picking up on some of the radio traffic. We'll get to you momentarily. But if you haven't made your way to the grandstand just yet, do want to remind you, you want to stay hydrated out there. It is a little bit warm. It is a little bit hot. But good old Ma Nature has given us a pretty day to race. 73, right, so you're cold? 73. If you're baking in the sun, I guess what you're saying is true. I just want people to stay hydrated, Alan. You know how concerned I am about people's health. Yeah, 73. It's kind of hard to say. It's hot. It's very comfortable. I'm from Miami. It's cold, man. This is bitter, freezing cold. Ooh, 73. No, this is perfect weather. You know what? Yeah. But you should still stay hydrated. I'm like your ma. Drink some water. All right, so they're working on lanes 3 and 4 over there. And while they sort that out, what we're going to do is get reset. Hopefully the guys in the truck are down there and available. If you're hanging in the grandstands, why don't you check out Sunoco Vision till we are back.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.
From sunrise to sunset, the new Honda Talon 1000s offer performance and fun for up to 4 passengers. Make that sunrise to sunrise. This is the side-by-side your family has been waiting for. More proof than ever that life is better side by side.
Life is better side by side by side by side. Justin Bond, Jose Gonzalez, Khaled Al-Belushi, and Jeff Parker. Final quad here in E3 Spark Plug Pro Modified, presented by J&A Service. Starting to see some of our Pro Stock stars down there. Kid Chaos is down there. And Matt Hartford is down there. And everybody kind of overseeing what's going on in Pro Modified. And we're going to do some special programming in the middle of this Q2 of the Camping World Drag Racing Series. You're going to meet some of our champions. It's going to be great. But right now, what will we see? .562.1 is the record. Justin Bond, Jose Gonzalez have got cars that are capable of it. So does Khaled Al-Belushi. Jeff Barker would like to get into the field. Everybody is motivated. The arms are up. And here we go. Final quad of Q2. Jeff Barker going to be the first to light a pre-stage bulb. Everybody taking their time. Most recent race winner, Justin Bond, is the #1 qualifier. He is pre-staged. Jose Gonzalez is pre-staged. Everybody's pre. 7 inches forward to light the fully staged bulb. Barker goes in. Jose goes in. They're all in. Wheels up. Justin Bond making a move left. Barker gets down through there, runs 5.804 and makes the show. Puts it in there. Jose Gonzalez with a 5.67.8. Strong pass for Jose. 9.38 for Justin Bond and a 7.55 for Khaled Al-Belushi. So Justin Bond will remain the #1 qualifier after 2 sessions. Khaled Al-Belushi second, Jose Gonzalez now third, Stevie Fast fourth, Mike Salinas fifth, J.R. Gray sixth, seventh Tricky Ricky Smith, Doug Winters eighth, Jericho Balduff is 9th, Jeffrey Barker up into the 10th spot, Brandon Snyder, Mike Castellana, Alex Laughlin, Lyle Barnett, Dwayne Wolf, and Chad Green holding on to the bump spot with a 6:15.1. And just like that, it's time for the Camping World Drag Racing Series. We're going to be doing a little bit of track prep. As you see, the scrapers come out. The rubber gets balled up. We have to scrape it down to the bare concrete and then re-prep the starting line. It'll take just a couple of minutes. You'll see the